Marshall Charloff. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. The tribute work that I do is with Purple Xperience, is the full band production. Also, the show that I'm doing tonight is called Purple Piano, world's only one-man tribute to the greatest artist that ever lived. Happy birthday, Prince. And then the third project that I do is in Tribute World. I front many symphony orchestras and get to do the music of Prince and honor him symphonically as well. So those are the three branches of the Purple Empire. So I met Prince when I was 18 years old in Minneapolis when it was happening. You know, it meaning the explosion. Purple Rain had just come out. I was in a band with his cousin in Minneapolis. And so Prince was kind of keeping an eye on us, mentoring us, and we were allowed to come to his rehearsal spaces, and he would mentor us. So being influenced by Prince at a young age set me on the path. Did I foresee that I'm going to be dressing up in a wig and heels and do this 30 whatever years later? No, that wasn't anything I could have foreseen. The band was put together in 2011, and it was co-founded by Dr. Fink. Dr. Fink was the original member of Prince and the Revolution. We were and are friends. So when we put this together, Prince was very much alive. And, there were challenges being in Minneapolis, doing tribute work to Matt's boss, former boss. And how is Prince going to receive this, and how is the world going to receive it? Much higher bar being in tribute world when you're kind of crossing into that sacred area of there's a legacy there. This is the original keyboard player. So we kind of tiptoed into it. And originally, the fans, and when I mean fans, they weren't my fans, because it was my first entry into it. The fans of Prince and the fans of Dr. Fink didn't receive it. Some of them didn't, at least the ones that were vocal about it, had issues with it because, how dare you? And I totally understood that. I totally got that. Much higher bar, it's a much higher standard when, I don't know how many tribute bands, I don't think there are any tribute bands that have the original member in them, because when you have a band that has an original member, they go out as that original band name. And there's so many acts right now that have maybe one original member left. And actually, I won't name those names, but there's a few that have 0 original members left, yet they still get to go out with the name of that brand that we all know. So in this case, the challenges were trying to not respect the legacy, not make a mockery of it, and honor Prince, who, like I said, I knew, and certainly Matt knew very well. And so, Matt had some meetings with Prince. The fans started to accept it because the way we executed it, and the way that we prioritized musicianship, and a little less of this stuff and a little bit more of, the dude plays every instrument on the stage. I mean, this is as authentic as it can be. So I think we've overcome it, but now it's been almost 13 years later. So the level of musicianship that I'm surrounded with is on a ridiculously high caliber. We're all very learned musicians. That's the priority in this band, because it's Prince, So musicianship is the whole thing. Um, as far as preparation, I gotta keep this like this. Vocally, certainly, you have to be smart about it. I go through about 5 of these a day. I pee a lot, so you drink a lot of water. You gotta sleep. You gotta get your rest, that kind of a thing. So, this aesthetically, I gotta look like this. So it's a commitment, because I would not wear my beard. I would not have a beard like this if I wasn't doing this work. So, I wouldn't have chest hair from 1973. But that's the commitment to the show. But once you kind of commit to it, and it just becomes who you are. I'm uniquely qualified to do what I do. In many respects. One of them is I did 10 years as a dueling piano player touring around. That is that experience you can't be bought. The ability with just a piano and a microphone to command a room, but not perform to them, but with them. Make them part of the show, include them in the show. It's their party. You're just facilitating their party. And so that's I don't even remember the question anymore, but but that's basically what the objective is at all the shows. Before Prince passed away, it didn't feel as purposeful. Since Prince passed away, more and more and more, you're seeing folks bringing their children to the show. For the reason that you just presented, it's like they will not have the opportunity to see Prince perform live, and parents are almost feeling an obligation, a responsibility to pass this on to their children, because they know the future, the Michael Jacksons, the Princes, the George Michael. The new ones, there's a handful. Lady Gaga. Is there going to be a John Mayer tribute? Probably. I mean, there's just a sprinkling of future icons, and a sprinkling. Whereas we were so fortunate that, like every day growing up, there was a new song that is iconic to this day, every day. Now, that's just not happening. So, more and more and more, it's about remembering what was. So I think it's crucial. I earned my place in what I do, as a composer, as a multi-instrumentalist, and as a performer. And as long as folks keep showing up, buying tickets, and giving me the kind of response that I get, I'll keep doing it. And if they stop showing up and they're not supporting it, I'll keep doing it in a different capacity. I play with badass musicians, so you can't help but be influenced by that collaboration every night. I learn something from my bandmates all the time. As far as how it gets incorporated into my own compositions, I would say it's the energy of Prince. So when people tell me, at the end of the show or whatever, you look just like Prince or whatever, I don't think so. It's not the look. I said, I don't even think you think I look like Prince. What you just experienced was me channeling the bravado and the energy of the greatest of all frickin' time. And I go there. I have to give a disclaimer to everyone. I have to go to the front of house sound guy I have to tell them something happens to me. It's almost happening to me right now. So you feel a little extra bravado because it's gig night for me. Like yesterday, this would have been a different interview because I'm not channeling, you know. Gig day, I start channeling and I get cockier. And I start to become that master. And it lasts for about 2 hours after the show. So I'll have buyers come give me a check and they're like, great show. I'm like, yeah, no doubt. Or you're the best we ever had here. I'm like, yeah. Like, because I'm in that thing. I'm in that thing. So to bring back to your question, when I'm doing my original work, that thing, I borrow from that. I borrow from that. So when I'm writing, composing, and producing, I try and go there. I try and channel that source, which is ungodly. It's masterful. And, you know, now I'm not saying I get all of that stream, but if I just tap a little bit of that, just give me a little dribble, it's still badass. All right.
Amazing.
Lisa's over there cheering me on.
Great.